Hey guys, J Hubs again, and this time around I'm not doing a mission specific, video. I'm actually doing an informational video on the whole, Metal Gear Solid 5 leak plot, all that little, that whole little ordeal that just happened. Basically, it's already been proven to be false. None of it. It's been proven to be not true by a Konami official. With that being said, those who are wondering watching this video if it's true or not, it is not. The point of this video is not to prove that it's true or to prove that it's fake. It's actually to pull out little things from that plot leak that I believe are going to be very close to what's in the actual game, or at least, remotely, like what's going to be in the actual game. Because, and with that said, I'm going to just warn you guys right now that this is going to possibly contain, spoilers. So for those of you guys who are kind of, who don't want to mess up the game, you're kind of, second guessing if you want to know this stuff, leave now. Because, that's how I was. I was second guessing it, and I read the article, like, oh, well, I'll just read it. And I feel like I completely screwed the game up for me. Because, when I'm playing the game, I want to have this stuff in my mind. So that's just my warning to you guys. For the guys who don't care, I'm about to get into it right now for you. Basically, the beginning of the plot, the plot leak says that basically it describes how Big Boss wakes up in the hospital, and as we all know how this happens from the Phantom Pain trailer, but this tells us just a little bit more. It basically says that Big Boss was coming in and out of consciousness, and he was having in this time he's having a dream about when he was fighting the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3. And he wakes up, falls back to sleep, dreams about that, wakes up again from gunshots, and this guy Ishmael basically telling him that they need to run and they need to get out of the hospital. And basically they get out of the hospital. they try to escape, who we all saw in the Phantom Pain trailer. They leave the hospital, and they see all these figures that they think are enemies. At least Snakes think they're enemies, but they're really out to help them. And basically they get out of the hospital, and they see this psychic individual who tells Snake that Ishmael was just an illusion. Now, just think about this. Ishmael illusion. Now, why would this make sense? Why would this be accurate to the game, the actual plot of the game? Well, let's think about it. We never see Ishmael's face, and Ishmael sounds exactly like, well, he's voiced by Kiefer Sutherland. God, I have trouble saying his name. Jack Bauer. He's voiced by Jack Bauer, 24. He's voiced by him. And we don't see his face. So I mean, this thing about illusions, or how can I say it? This thing about, the best way to relate this is, imagine like a little kid's imaginary friend. And if you talk to little kids about their imaginary friends, a lot of them will say that imaginary friends tend to sound like the kid. When they ask them, like, what do they sound like? Oh, they sound like me. In their head they sound similar. So it would only make sense that with Ishmael being voiced by Kiefer Sutherland, Jack Bauer, 24, that he is just an imaginary figure made from an illusion. And we also don't see his face, so Snake, Big Boss, he doesn't have to create a image for this person. He knows how he sounds, which he sounds like himself. So that's why I think that's probably very close. And then plus he was he's seeing a goddamn flaming whale. That shit ain't real. that is not real at all. I never seen a flaming whale. What species of whale is flaming? Do they live in volcanoes? Or they live in the sun? And if they live in the sun, what are they doing down on Earth? It doesn't make sense, is what I'm saying. So, that's why I think that could be true. Next up is the infamous Eli is Liquid. That's the next one, and probably kind of knew I was gonna, say this one. And well, this one, I believe. Here's the thing. This one is very generic, but I believe it. Basically, what it's saying is the way the mission is handed to Snake. He basically finds these. God, I kind of forgot the mission. He finds these. He helps these people, and basically they're saying their kids are have been taken, and they're made into these child soldiers, and Snake they want Snake Big Boss to go rescue them. Big Boss goes to rescue them, and he finds a leader of these kids, Eli. And basically, he fights Eli. And instead of killing him, he pretty much brings him to Mother Base. And after that, game goes on, and later on to the very unbelievable part. But basically, later on in the game, they basically say that Big Boss partners up with Skullface. Now that I don't believe that at all. But basically, going on from there, Skullface tells Big Boss that that Eli is his son, is a clone made from him by Cypher, who made three sons from Big Boss. And we all know Solid Snake, and Liquid. So after finding this out, Big Boss decides, oh my God, I can't have him with me. So he sends him to London, and he gives him a bunch of money so he can live. Now, why I think this kinda makes sense is because, just think about this. Just think about Liquid's hatred for Solid Snake for a second. Liquid always, I recall him saying something in the nature of, he always liked you better anyways. I think that was in Metal Gear Solid 1. Could have been in Metal Gear Solid 2. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was in Solid 1. He said to Solid Snake he always liked you better. Now, some of you guys may think, how does that make any sense at all? Because he never knew, Solid Snake. At least as we know, he never knew him as a little kid. But he it's not him knowing him as a little kid. If Big Boss sends him to London, and when he sends Eli to London, Liquid Snake to London, Eli takes that as abandonment. So basically, in Liquid's eyes, Big Boss abandoned him. He, said bye and didn't pay child support. That's kind of how he's seen in his eyes. So when Big Boss takes up Snake in Metal Gear, and pretty much kind of like, how can I say it, treats him more of a son, treats him as a soldier, treats him as a man. In Liquid's eyes, it's like, he's being the pissy little brother, basically. And that's the best way to explain it. And to me, it would make sense. The only issue with that is very, very generic. Everyone believes that Eli is Liquid, so it's very easy to try to say that, it's very easy to just make up a little story saying that, Eli is Liquid and this is how he's Liquid. So, that's my thought on that. And, the guy made sense with it. The next thing is Frank Jaeger, the infamous Gray Fox. Basically, Big Boss gets a mission where he finds Frank Jaeger and his little sister Naomi. Naomi, as we all know, Metal Gear Solid 1, Doctor gave Solid Snake's Fox die. Metal Gear Solid 4, Doctor that pretty much had sex with Ocelot. Oh my God, Ocelot. I'm sorry. Octagon. Did I say his name right? Octagon. There we go. Octagon. Always have trouble with Octagon's name. But yeah, she has sex with Octagon. And she dies, which is kind of funny. But she has sex with Octagon, and basically Big Boss meets Frank Jaeger and his little sister, and he fights Frank Jaeger, and basically he beats him, of course, and he says, I can give you a cause worth fighting for at Mother Base. And while him meeting Frank Jaeger And that whole thing is another thing that's very generic. It's very, easy. Just it's kind of like a cookie cutter type deal. Just throw that in there. But you know, it, how can I say this? It makes sense for for Gray Fox to be in this game, because this game is supposed to be the border from Peace Walker to Metal Gear, and we need to see Frank Yeager somewhere. And I know you guys are thinking, what about Portable Ops? Now, this is why I thought the whole the whole plot leak was, well, this is how I knew like it was some fake bullshit. But it made me think it more, because yeah, in Portable Ops you do fight Frank Yeager. That happened in Portable Ops. But the thing is, Portable Ops may not be canon. Hideo Kojima, he's kind of, everything I looked up about it is back and forth whether or not Portable Ops is canon. And Hideo Kojima is known to, change up some of the story in Metal Gear to fit how he wants it to go. So, I mean, that's just something to think about. Like, even if Portable Ops is canon, I mean, let's face it, how many people really play Portable Ops? How relevant to the main series is Portable Ops? I mean, if you really, just to be blunt about it, so it'll be real easy for Hideo Kojima to say, you know what, toss that to the side. This is how he actually meets Frank Yeager, and this is what really happens. So, as I said before, it's very generic how it happens, but we do need to see Gray Fox in this game in order for it to make sense for Metal Gear 1, that is rumored to be made. What the hell is rumored? It's basically rumored to be made, after Metal Gear Solid 5: Phantom Pain. And why I say it's rumored, I mean, everyone's been talking about it. And at the end of this plot leak, it actually says, I guess, story to be continued in Metal Gear Solid Outer Haven. Those are my three things. I kind of added like that little fourth one with the Metal Gear Solid Outer Haven, that sequel supposedly supposed to happen. But those are my three things I think are pretty legitimate in that little plot leak. Even though they may not be 100% to what the game's actually going to be, I know they're not, but they're very likely to be in the game. I just died, so I'm trying to end the video pretty quick. They're very likely to be in the game.
Snake, talk to me, Snake.
Whatever you guys think, leave comments. Tell me about what I picked from that. Like, what you guys think about that. If you guys want to add to it. But yeah, definitely tell me what you guys think about that, because I just think those three things are, if not, I think those three things are big things in a little plot leak. I don't think they should be overlooked. So I thank you guys for watching. As I said, leave comments, tell me what you guys think, and you guys have a good day or night or whenever you're watching.